Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to be building a house, but every room is going to be a randomly generated school subject. I thought this would be a fun video to do because it's September, it's back to school season, the dreaded back to school season, and I figured, I could make this a little bit more fun. So here I am, providing some fun back to school content to make the season a little bit brighter. And hopefully you all are having a good time waking up early. God, I hate that. College is a little bit better because you can kind of schedule your classes later in the day most of the time, at least with community college. Or, my community college, you can do online classes. Game changer. I mean, you have to be a lot more self-disciplined in order to do it, but it's a game changer. Because I can, carve out time to do things when I want to do them, and it's a big help. I mean, sometimes I do miss like the face-to-face interaction because there is some teaching that gets lost in translation when you're just doing a class purely online. And it's not like that Zoom meetings crap that you did in high school when COVID was going around, or Big C, or whatever you want to call it. And it's not like that. It's not like where you'd go into a meeting and the teacher would still do a lecture. No, my online classes are just, here's a chapter from a textbook, here's a little activity, figure it out. So you have to be self-disciplined for that type of online class. It presents its own difficulty, but I enjoy it. So I built this house with only 6 rooms because that's the amount of subjects that I put on my wheel. Because there's 6 main subjects when it comes to school. I didn't feel like separating them into like each itty bitty one. No, that's too much. I've got shit going on. I'm trying to make this quick. Here is my wheel generator, and I have the only right colorings for these subjects. Math, I made that red because math is always red. English is blue. History is yellow. And science is sometimes blue, sometimes purple. I went like a bluish purple. And then with gym and art, I don't really associate either with too much of a color, so I just shoved green onto gym and then a nice teal onto art. So I'm going to start off doing the entryway first, and let's see what school subject I get. Math. Good, we're getting the boring one out of the way. And now we're going to remove it, can't use it again. I'm happy I get to get math out of the way really fast. Like, I definitely have a vision of what I could do for it, but it's boring. No, very few people like math. I was about to say nobody, but like, I bet there's someone out there, crazy ass motherfucker, but there's probably someone. I definitely need a door to the bedroom off of the entry though. You know what, I will do a little doorway, a little archway into the living room off of the entry, and then I'll do a bigger one in here. Maybe one to match. Oh, and they're not the same height. That's gonna bug me. I have to try to fix that somehow. I just have to use a smaller arch for the big one. And I will copy that over here because no way in hell am I gonna have mismatched arches in my house. Not happening. I'm too OCD for that shit. I'm gonna have fun with it, and I'm going to do this fun, like, hexagonal timber because, geometry. Get it in a black. Classy. Now, you could make an argument that, solar system there's math involved in that, but I'm not going down that deep in the rabbit hole. Just gonna get a simple light. Can't go wrong with a simple light. Is that too low, though? Right off the door? Yeah, that's definitely too low. There we go. That will work. And because it's still kind of dark, I'm gonna add that. Okay, if I wanted to go really crazy, more hexagons, but I'm not that committed to the bit this time. I think this one, it still kind of has like a geometric pattern, which I think is nice for math. So we'll go with it. I'm putting a burglar alarm up on the wall, and then also gonna have a thermostat right there. Get it out of the way, put it in the entryway. Okay, so we've got this red rug with a book on it. It's a club rug from Get Together, and I'm wondering if I could size this down and make it into like a nice little entry rug. Because red is the definitive color of the subject math. You can argue with me all you want in the comments, but that is my truth. And a book, you always need a book for math. So that kind of works. Except it doesn't go with my wallpaper now. I'll just change my wallpaper to white. That's better. Coat rack in the corner. Then I'm going to get a bench in here, over here. Yeah, that'll be good enough. And then I can scoot that over. Shove some shoes underneath the bench. Like that's where you put them when you come in the door. And then, an accent table in over here so you can drop your junk when you walk in the door. And I kind of want to get a bookshelf over here. I'm not sure if any will really fit. It's a very narrow space. Oh, look how perfect that'd be. That's literally a school locker, but it's way too big for this entryway. Okay, all these bookshelves are just way too chunky, so I'm gonna have to just like put art up here or something. But I think I could put some binders up on a table, except I'm not too sure. This one comes with a rabbit. It's not very adult. Thankfully, we've got the study pile from university, and I can... Oh, that's literally graph paper. That's math. That's perfect. There it is. Math. I've got my math-themed entryway. I'm really glad it was just a small room, but it's kind of bad that you're inundated with math the second you walk in the door. Talk about a headache. Next up, I want to do the master bedroom, and the only bedroom. So, let's see what we get. Please be something good. Okay, it's gonna be history. I like that. I've always had really good history teachers. Like, my history teachers have been some of my favorite teachers ever. I don't know, there's just something in the water with history teachers that make them the best. I think they're the most fun. They're funny. They're really good at getting you to enjoy the subject material. And they're just very funny, I find, too. My AP history teacher in high school, oh my god, I love that man. I mean, he was out there, but he was fun. He had like a semi-photographic memory, so you see where he was a little wacky. He was a little wacky, but he was great. Definitely not the teacher for everyone, though. But he had so many books and papers. History buffs, they love books. Because, you don't want to lose history. And those are all, history's like written in books. So, this is going to be pretty much a book room. Now for flooring, I want something that feels old. And that's going to be something that is thin board, so the Victorian parquet from Vampires is absolutely perfect, because that was the style in Victorian homes. History. Now, if I want to be wacky, I could put newspaper up on the walls. I mean, it's kind of fun. I wouldn't mind doing this for like a feature wall, or maybe do a little desk study cove in the corner here. There we go. The rest of the room I'll do in something normal. I think blue. Blue is just a nice, calm color. Can't go wrong. Now, what kind of bed would embody history? I mean, that looks old. But I'm wondering, this is from the Painter Career, and I know it has some fun swatches here. Oh! That would have been good for an art bedroom, but it also kind of works for history, because in my AP history class, I think it was European history, we went through different phases in art and how that reflected society and how it evolved and all that. So that is definitely a part of history. So I will put, since it's Van Gogh, so definitely part of history. So I'll put that in the room. Now for the end tables, they're actually going to be bookshelves. Look at that high school years one. That's kind of fun. No, I don't want that. Off track. I'm getting off track. I want to use these ones from Book Nook Kit. And then I think just the white ones by the bed. Look at that. Really classy, really snazzy. I wondered. I don't think I have enough room to... No, I would not. I would not have enough room. It would be kind of fun to do built-ins, just like all the way around. I'm gonna try something. Bear with me. Okay, it's a little awkward, but I really wanted to do built-ins around the bed. You can't tell me it doesn't look cool. It looks cool. Curtains now. Why do I feel like blinds are kind of the move? Like, I don't love blinds, don't get me wrong. I don't really like them, but I feel like they could be the move in here. I don't know. We'll see. I kind of want to do something with historical charm to tie it all together, but the ones we have that are really, really ugly. So I'm thinking instead I use the university blinds. They cover the whole window. There is no more window. I liked the window. You know what? No curtains. No curtains, no blinds. We're not doing it. I don't feel like it. Now, with the clocks, I can start tying in some more history. Very historical-esque. Oh, and I will make you work if it's the last thing I do. Good enough. Oh, not good enough. And then I definitely want a grandfather clock. The Vampires one is so gorgeous. I love all the grandfather clocks in this game. I love them all. But this one I feel like matches the best with the one on the table. So you'll go in here. Ooh, an old mirror. That will be nice to have in here too. This is rescued from the attic, so it's definitely probably like old heirloom. Perfect. You'll go on this wall, maybe? Wait, does the color match well? Ooh. I'll use a white one. Put it on this wall. Then I need a dresser to put right here. That's lovely. I love it. It's cute. It's fancy. But there's also, it says vintage, but debatable. Or there's these. I want to use them. I never use these because they're so tiny and they make no sense. Where else would I use them except in a history buff's room, you know? There we go. Historical. And then I want like a vintage, like, side table. I could do like an old oil lamp. These are pretty. My grandmother actually does have one that like a lamp with a very fancy base like that. It's very old. Candelabras, those are old, but I think that might be a little too far. These are old, definitely. Definitely old. They don't make them like that anymore. You know what? I'm gonna use this because I like it. A rug. Gotta find a nice old looking rug. Luckily, the game does have quite a few. Like all of these with the very fancy designs on them, they feel like they would be antiques. Even just that looks nice. Yeah, that's good enough. Then over here will be the little study corner. I want an older looking desk. Antique desk. A handcrafted antique desk. Oh, look at that. That's nice. An antique writer's desk. Oh, come on. History buffs and writers kind of go hand in hand. Maybe I'm projecting a little because I love history, but I also love to write. Oh, well, it's my build. I can do what I want. Except that beautiful window, I don't want to block it too much. And then this is like kind of old looking computer. We'll go with it. I think it'll be nice. Kind of have a blue theme going on in here. I'll use that one. I do actually have like 3 or 4 typewriters in my room because my grandmother is a hoarder. So we just have a lot of everything. And this desk chair screams old. And it's also professor armchair. What's more professory of a profession than a history professor? Do you understand what I just said? Because I don't. I'm sorry. And then this very old, like, desk lamp. I feel like it like screams 1930s to me. I have one of these, and I really want to put it in my room, but I need to find a bulb for it. But I've just been too lazy to do so. There we go. That's fun. And then I definitely need a wall bookshelves right behind it. Princess Cordelia. That looks like an antique. I love a lot of the bookcases in this game. They're all really fun. I just love bookshelves. I'm thinking I might actually use this colonial bookshelf. I don't really use it often. It's far from my favorite, but those little swoops at the top, they match a lot of the swoops on the other furniture, like the dressers and the mirror. So I think I'm going to use it. And that is going to be my history-inspired bedroom. Next up, the master bath. What do we get for this? What's it going to be? Don't be gym, because that would make no sense. Okay, it's going to be English. You know, I am one of those people who really, really wants to love English, but I have absolutely hated every single history, like, well, not every single, but a lot of the English teachers that I had. I don't know, there's just something about them. They all feel like these failed women in their 40s who watch Hallmark movies, read smutty romance novels obsessively, and like the kind of homophobic smutty romance novels, not good romance novels. Yeah, they feel like that. And like, they always wanted to be a writer, but they couldn't because they had no creativity. Yeah, that's what they feel like to me. Can you tell I've had a bad experience with English teachers? Like, my 10th grade English teacher is my most hated English teacher. We spent half of the year taking notes on how to take notes. It was hell on earth. And the thing about it wasn't just taking notes on how to take notes. You had to take the notes exactly how she took the notes, or else you would get marked down because she graded notes. The psychopath graded notes. And it doesn't matter if you're like, you explain to her, like, no, I wrote it this way because it makes more sense to me, it helps my thought process. No, doesn't count. You failed. You have to do it exactly the way I did it, or else I don't know you're doing it right. And that's fucked up mentality right there. I hate it. It's just horrid. Absolutely horrid. And another thing about her is, you are only allowed to go to the bathroom twice in a semester. And not just that, she gave out little passes at the beginning of the semester. You only got 2, and if you lost those passes, too bad, so sad, You don't get to go to the bathroom at all then. It was wild. I hate her. I still hate her to this day. Ooh, she makes me mad just thinking about her. I'm sorry. But have any of you had like an English teacher like that, or was that just my experience just getting all the bad English teachers? Or is that a common theme? I'm just making this bathroom really basic because I feel like English teachers are basic bitches. Okay, so I probably need to add a little bit of English personality in here somehow. I don't know how I plan on doing that yet, though. I'm just gonna finish getting the basics in. Okay, I think I know what I want to do to add some English personality in here. I'm going to use, I think, the book posters from the Book Nook kit. Here they are. Now, the question is, which pictures? Oh, I feel like I had a lot of English teachers that had a poster a lot like this in their rooms. So I need to see if I can find a better, maybe I'll do the white frame. And then I'll put in a couple more yet. Again, romance novel, I feel like I already told you what I feel like their stereotype is, so we'll go with that. And then I'm wondering if I could get like a small little bookshelf on the side. I don't know. Oh no, wait. The magazine holder, put it by the toilet. Yeah. See, the magazine holder from Parenthood. That's perfect to use in this bathroom, I think. Yeah. I'll scooch that over, put this right by the toilet. There we go. That's the English bathroom. Moving on. I will just do the living room first. I don't know, I feel like gym would be the best one to get for the living room, and of course I don't get it, I get art, which I guess that kind of works too. We'll go with it. Yeah. And that'll be fun to do an art-themed living room, because I do like art. That was always a fun subject, when you had a good teacher at least. You didn't always get a good teacher in that, unfortunately. Again, my high school art teacher, she's kind of a bitch. I'll leave it at that. And also, her name was Wendelin. Excuse me? What kind of name is Wendelin? And I don't know if I should take this floor from the living room and put it in here. You know what? I will. And then, I have a kind of fun idea. Bear with me here. Okay, so, DIY mural wall and put it on the wall. Perfect. Am I right? I think it's perfect. Okay, so, now I need to get wallpaper up. I'm thinking I just slap a basic, like, gray on... Ooh, actually, no. I can't have baseboards on the top. Not gonna work. There we go. Just put a basic gray color on the wall so then you can adorn the wall with your mural. I think that'll be lovely. You obviously gotta get an easel in the corner. It's an art-themed living room. You have to. Now, for the sofa, I'm not too sure what to do, actually. What would be, like, an art-themed sofa? Unless I used a bench. I feel like there is, like, a kind of painted bench somewhere in game. Yeah, there is. So I could use painted benches in here. But which ones do I want? I mean, it's pretty. Not my vibe at all. I mean, that one's really out there and doing the most. But I feel like this kind of matches what I've done on the outside a little bit. So maybe I'll do this. But it also doesn't look that, like, hand-painted. Ugh. I'll go with it. No, maybe people who live here are like a professor couple. One's an art teacher at the college and the other's a history teacher. And, you know, history goes hand in hand with literature, so the bathroom still makes sense. And I didn't even go too ham on the math in here, so it could still go that way, I think. I suppose I'll get 2 benches in here. I guess they're not really the couple that watches TV then, because they won't have one. And I have no clue how to lay this out. Like this? Make their living room a freaking art gallery? I'm chugging along, man. I'm chugging along. Tarp in the corner. Oh, actually, I think I have to do, like, this whole front part with tarps, because they're going to be painting a mural up on the wall. You gotta cover up these beautiful, gorgeous, original hardwood floors. Gotta get some art clutter all around. Probably even have to, like, fill this corner up with shelves and fill all the shelves up with, like, art stuff. Or maybe I do storage underneath the window, and that's where all the art stuff goes. Yeah, I think that could work. Then high school years kind of has one that looks pretty hand-painted there, so that could be fun to put in here. So we'll do that on the bottom, and then try to match it a little bit up top. Yeah, I think that's the matching one. That'll be the cubbies for all the art supplies. And, you know, you can even put that up as decoration. It's art. Crafty mess right there. I think these two are a little too childish, so I'm not going to go that far. Put that there. More craft cubbies. Oh, this is gonna be so much crafting material. Even more. More, like, kind of art supplies, I guess. Not quite, but close enough that I'll put it in here still. Big cans of paint over here. I mean, these poster signs, they do kind of give art, but I don't think we have room in here for them. No, there's definitely not room. Aha! Here's the one from the art career, or the painter career. This is definitely a must-have in here. I think I want this closer to the easel. Move these over a little bit. And then I think I'll use this corner as wall space for actual paintings. Put up like a little gallery wall up in the corner. Why is this corner so dark? I don't like that. You want your art room to be a lot of natural light, or just light in general. There we go, that's better. I'm looking for something very specific. There they are. Study of the human form. Maybe I'll put them closer to the easel so they can reference them while they're working. Yeah, look at me being smart. Here we go. And then this will be like the more like pretty well done display art. Oh, I have to put these in the bedroom. Antiquated patent posters? Come on, man. Somebody who loves history would have these. Look at me missing the good shit. And even like a history of the world map print. That would be perfect in here. And it kind of like matches. That looks nice together. Okay. Okay. Back to what I was working on. A little sidetrack there. I'm sorry. I think this definitely looks like hand painted. Some of the art in this game doesn't look very handmade. So I don't want to use that stuff. I want to use the stuff that looks like it was definitely painted. So a lot of these like city living posters, I think I'll end up using. I use these a lot. They're just a really good size and they match up quite nicely with others in the same collection. Okay, yeah, that definitely looks like that could have been painted. Make it smaller though. No, I should really use this Get Famous painting more. It's got a lot of good swatches. A lot of these swatches are just amazing. Yeah. I think that's a pretty good little art corner. It's got a good mix of different types of art. Some a little bit more abstract, some a bit more realistic, some just all over the place. I like it. That's nice. There's a specific name for this type. I just can't think of it right now. We went over that in my college art class. College art class I liked a little bit more than high school. So yeah, that's going to be the art-themed living room. It looks more just like a random art room than an art living room. And this is going to be the, like, main bathroom for the house, the guest bath. Let's see what I get for this one. I've only got two left. It's science and gym, and I don't know which would be better. Part of me kind of wishes I would have gotten gym for that, because then I won't have to do the kitchen dining like a gym. But science it is. Because cooking is kind of like a science, so it would have been, I think, better to have science there, but it is what it is. I feel like I definitely need like a linoleum floor. I feel like all like science rooms in high schools had like that weird linoleum floor that they had in the hallways, and then like the normal classrooms, like the English and math classrooms, you had that really ugly carpet, but in ones that had like chemistry and physics, you would always have a linoleum. I kind of want to use this. I don't know. Something about it. I know why. Because my school, the art club did a thing where they would paint murals up on the walls. And they did something kind of like this in my high school. That's why this reminds me of school. But anyway, I feel like I should do something a bit more science-themed if I can find it. We really want to be true to my high school experience. It would just be white painted cinder block on the walls. Because that's what almost all of the walls were. There's my high school walls, basically. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit better, you know? We'll go with that. Oh, this is ridiculous. How would I even find, like, a science-themed toilet? Unless I did, like, the really high-tech ones. You know what? I'll do it. I'll do it. Definitely not really a science-themed sink, though. That was a lot of S's. I'm sorry. Just do that. Basic-ass mirror. Instead of doing, like, a shower or a tub, I'll just do... Or should I? I could do storage or I could do a shower tub. I'm gonna do storage. So I feel like that'd be more like a science room, you know, you have a lot of storage in those. If this wasn't gardening, I'd say I'd use this one. But I could use this one. It's got all the linens on it, so that's bathroom. Honestly, the cupboards in my school was that weird, like, orangish wood. Really cheap. So that's very reminiscent of it for me. And then I'll just find some nice science-themed posters to put up on the wall. And that'll be the science-themed bathroom. I think it's probably going to come from high school years because that has a lot of, the school stuff in it. I mean, there's earth science right there. Ooh, hang on. There we go. That's science, baby. The poster's literally named the sciences. Science. Science. Yeah, there we go. Science bathroom. Done. That was pretty quick. And now I get to focus the rest of my time on the kitchen dining, which is going to be a gym. Gym themed. I also didn't have the best time in gym class. Maybe it's because I was kind of a little bit nerdy, I guess. But I'm going to continue, I think, the hexagonal flooring. I know, that kind of feels gym-like to me, a little bit. And then gyms, they just didn't have very good lighting, so I'll just continue with, the saucer lights. Gym was kind of ruined for me by my elementary school gym teacher, because he had anger issues like nobody's business. I'm gonna use these kind of retro ones because I feel like the clean look kind of gives gym, I don't know. Yeah, he had anger issues so damn bad. Like, you caught him on a bad day and you did the slightest thing wrong, he was yelling his damn head off. I'll do this greenish blue. It was bad. One time, it was my first time ever playing volleyball, and I'm short, real short. So when I go to try to hit something, serve the ball over the net, again, this is my first time serving the ball, it doesn't go over, or I'm not hitting it right, something, and he just starts screaming at me in front of everyone, and he keeps screaming and screaming, telling me I'm lazy, that I'm not trying, that I'm doing it on purpose, until I am sobbing, crying on the floor, and he just keeps going. And news about this spread throughout the whole school, so it was so embarrassing come lunchtime. I was embarrassed. And I repressed that memory for a long time. I just repressed it. It was not a fun time. He was horrible. Absolutely horrible. You don't yell at kids like that. No matter what they did. You don't yell at kids like that. Anyway, that's enough trauma dumping out of me. Here is how my kitchen is coming along. And again, if we wanted to be very accurate, we would continue this cinder block. Because that is what was in my school's gyms all the time. So there we go. I'm really not sure how to do a gym-themed kitchen and dining. It just does not compute. I think maybe I'll add a coffee machine. I don't know, that kind of seems like something gym goers would use. Coffee machine. Now I'll put it closer to the sink. There we go. Yeah, I'm just gonna do really basic decorations. I can put a basketball somewhere in here. Oh, I'll put it close to the back door. I can put a little, accent table over here, and that's, where they store stuff that they take outside to use. Yeah. Never mind, I can make this work. I'm not an idiot, like my elementary school gym teacher said. Leave a like to make me feel better about my trauma, please. It was really traumatic. Genuinely, I hate volleyball to this day. Maybe I should try to put lockers somewhere in here, for storage. That's the hutch. Instead of having a real hutch, they have lockers. I mean, that would be very, school themed. I wish there was some better ones, though. I don't really like those ones. I'll have to look. I'll keep that off to the side, and I'll get my table in. None of these tables really scream gym to me. Maybe this one kind of, but it won't leave much room for much else if I use this one because it's so big. I don't know, maybe this is really basic one. Can't go wrong with basic. Just do it in white. I don't know what else to do, really. I feel like these are very school chairs, so I could use those for, it literally says school desk chair, of course it feels like that, so I could use that, or folding chairs, school assemblies, they always held the school assemblies in the gym, so yeah, use the folding chairs they always had at those things. It's perfect. Well, it's something. And then some fruit as the centerpiece, health foods, go being healthy in gym class and promoting health. I don't know. I'm a little lost on this one. Grasping at straws. Aha! Here's the base game gym lockers I wanted to use because they're smaller and they fit better. You can die. But maybe in a better color. Oh, there is no better color. I'll just use the gray one then because that's what we had in my schools. All the schools I went to, they had those. I'm going to get a nice accent table to go over here. I'm not sure which one yet. Kind of like that one. That one's nice. I also kind of like this one. And that kind of goes a bit more, I guess the counters are kind of mid-century modern, maybe. Or just ugly 70s. Go with it. There's nothing here that really screams gym class to me, so do I do that or that? Those are really the only two I like. You know what? It's actually a hard one. Screw it, I'll just go boring. And then I'll put all like the gym equipment up on the table. Yeah, I can't really figure out anything else to do except that to make this kind of gym themed. Oh, I can put some kind of like gym shoes. When you come in outside after, getting your shoes all dirty, you set them over here instead of tracking them through the house. See, I'm smart. Get some more gym shoes down here, I guess. I don't know. This is a weird kitchen. I mean, I could try to also shove that under the table. Get rid of one set of, that's not really gym shoes. This is more gym shoes. So we'll just have this set of that like poking right there. And then all of that supplies like kind of like poking out under the table too. There we go. And then the Llama Corns team photo, that's sporty, kind of. Yeah, that's from the athlete career, so obviously it's sporty. Perfect. And then in the sculptures, there should be some sports trophies, I feel like. High school football trophy. It's perfect. And that's from high school years. I still kind of want to see if there's the athletic trophies. Got a little bit more room on the table, I think. All-Star trophy, that's from the athletic career. MVP trophy, that's also from the athletic career. There we go. And then I'll put some gym posters on the wall over here. Or sports posters in general, too. Maybe I'll even put some up here. Here's a basketball poster from high school years. So that can go over here with the basketball. Move that over. Save some room for more. A Kick It Sally poster. Oh, there should be a soccer ball from university somewhere. I'll have to look for that and add that later. And then football poster. Literal gym poster. Oh, there's a periodic table. That would have been even better in the bathroom. You know what? I'm getting rid of these and putting the periodic table up in here instead. Yeah. Incredible sports. Let's do it. There we go. A jersey in a frame. Definitely gym-esque. Maybe I'll use a framed version of this over here instead. Yeah, I can make this wall a bit more of the fancier sports-themed art, and the other wall will be the cheap. That'll work. And there we go. It looks as good as I can make it. I'm not really into sports, if you can tell. Here it is, the piece de resistance, a soccer ball. Game Sports Soccer Ball. That's a silly name. Well, that is the final room complete. I have completed my Every Room is a Different School Subject challenge. I hope you enjoyed watching this. It was kind of fun to make. Hopefully I cheered up your back-to-school season. If you want to cheer up mine, go ahead and drop a like or a comment. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And subscribe so that I can prove to my mother that I have friends. I was a very lonely child. So, anyway, thank you so much for watching. It's been a great time. I love hanging out with all of you. So fun. I will catch you next time with a new video challenge thing. I don't know. If you want something specific, you gotta let me know in the comments.